Welcome back, you guys. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Swadik Mayanja, and you's here with Mabori Makaya, and this is the Millennial Classics. On this podcast, we talk about the best and most memorable movies, music, and culture-changing events of our generation. Mabori, how are you? How are you? How are you?
Doing good. Excited for this movie.
That's an understatement, Maburi. I love this movie. God damn it, I love this movie. Speaking of which, please, Maburi, tell the folks at home, what movie are we doing and why is it a millennial classic?
I'm gonna steal the Declaration of Independence.
Boom! Shakalaka turner! You're out the floor! Ejectocito, cuz! It worked! I love this part! Please! Come on!
Goodbye, Benny.
We are doing 1998's very own Rush Hour.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, we don't even need to say anymore.
you need to say a little bit more.
Right, that's why we're here. Podcast over. All right, so this is a bit of a reach, right? Because 98 isn't really millennial era, right? But the way I see it, everyone our age has seen this movie.
Yes.
Because it's right on, because the second one came out in the 2000s, early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then the next one, Rush Hour 3, we kind of don't talk about, but came out in 07. So, I mean, it's like a franchise that's a millennial franchise. So it only makes sense. And we did The Mummy, so you can relax.
And we did Cool Runnings that came out in 1805.
Yeah, but that's because we had to watch that shit in school, though.
Okay, look. So we still haven't done this. We still haven't made the rules and regulations as to what is and isn't a millennial classic. But the more movies we do, the more I'm coming to the conclusion that a movie made for our age or the millennials, the time it's made. So even if a movie was made in like 93, but it was made for babies or kids, that's a millennial classic because it was made for us. A movie made in 2010, but made for however old we were in 2010 is a millennial classic because it was a movie made for us. So just a movie made for us, I think can count, but that's just because I want to do a lot of different movies.
Yeah. It's pretty much the rule is if Rudy Giuliani didn't have hair, it counts as a millennial classic. That's pretty much the rule. That's a time frame.
Okay, so we need a year for that one because that's one way to pick it. Rudy, all right. For me, why I think this is a millennial classic is so I was just thinking about this because this is like a buddy cop movie as buddy cop movies get, right? Like it's such a buddy cop movie, right? The 80s and 90s, they had their hardcore buddy cop movies. They had the Die Hards, the Lethal Weapons. I haven't seen Beverly Hills Cop. I hear it's good. I know. Don't put any shame on me. I haven't
48 hours. 48 hours.
Yeah, so
like the first one.
Exactly. So that's the 80s and 90s, right? But the late 90s and the early 2000s, that is millennial classic heaven. I'm talking Men in Black. I'm talking Bad Boys. And yes, I am talking Rush Hour. I just feel like this is just part of that like trio, Men in Black, Bad Boys, and Rush Hour of like great comedy, funny, action-filled buddy cop movies. And this one fits right on in. It's fantastic. Usually I save this till the end. Mama Burry. All three of those movies are trilogies and all of them are buddy cop movies. If you had to rank them, Men in Black, Bad Boys, Rush Hour, talk to me.
This is so
trilogy, not single movies, but the trilogy.
Right, so doing the whole trilogy. Rush Hour's out because Rush Hour 3 was
compared to Men in Black 3. Did you
Men in Black 3? When's the last time you saw Men in Black 3?
That's my
no. Because I recently watched it. It's got some upside. It's honestly, it's the most touching and rewarding of the three. I'll say that.
Wait. I'm sorry. I might be confused. Men in Black 3 is with the switch of the cast? Or is that...
No, that's Men in Black 4.
That's... Oh, okay.
So
then you're right.
Yeah, Men in Black 3 was good. It had the time travel thing.
Yeah.
So Men in Black 3 was good. So I would go... And then Bad Boys. See, this is tough.
No, Bad Boys is obviously number one. Obviously, Bad Boys is obviously number one. Don't do that to me, bro.
All right, I go. See, if I was ranking it in terms of how good the movies are, I'd go Men in Black, Bad Boys, then Rush Hour. But if I was ranking how much I like, I'd go Bad Boys because I've seen Bad Boys 1 and 2 way more than any of these other movies.
Yeah. So for me, it's easily Bad Boys, Rush. Yeah, I would have to say Bad Boys, Rush Hour, Men in Black. When it comes to what I like, not movies that are like made well. But anyways, I was just thinking about like just buddy cop movies. And this is one of those buddy cop movies. It's a trilogy. It's a franchise that has been with millennials since it's began. And it's a fantastic. And of course, that's why it's a millennial classic. And speaking of which, talking about this past, jump with me into my time machine. And let me remind you what was goings on in September 18th of 1998. So
let us know.
The U.S. president was Bill Clinton, and in January of 1998, news of the Lewinsky scandal began. Huh? What about that, Babari? Huh? This is. I'm not that big of a video gamer. I used to be, and this was one of the video games that really was part of my childhood. In 1998, Metal Gear Solid was released on PlayStation. And it was actually released that same month. It was the 3rd of September that it was released. The Denver Broncos were the Super Bowl champs. Chicago Bulls were the NBA Finals champs. The top 5 songs in the U.S. were I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith, The First Night by Monica, Crush by Jennifer Page, My Way by Usher, when Usher was still doing his goddamn thing, and then The Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica. The Boy Is Mine by Brandy and Monica was a Nabila special. Nabila played that song more than I would ever care for, but I remember that song heavily. Mumburi, 1998. I don't know what you were. It's 6, 7, maybe at this time.
No, I was 4.
4. So I don't know if you know the movies, but I do know that you love watching.
I was posted in South Africa. So
but I have to ask because you love doing this. I have top 8.
I'm so ass at this. I'm sure if we did the stats, I've probably got like 4%.
No. I'm pretty sure you're like probably like at 35, 40%. To be honest, you're not horrible at it, right? I don't need the order. I don't need any specific. All I need you is to try to think of the movies that were the top 8 because I'll cheat for you.
98.
Now, number 8, the top grossing movie of 1998 was Rush Hour. So tell me the top 7 movies that came out. Any of the top 7 of 1998.
Was Armageddon in 98?
Exactly. That's a great one.
Okay.
Yes, it was.
Armageddon 98. Then was Saving Private Ryan. Was that 98?
On Fire. Mumburi, On Fire. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. That's all I got. What else we got?
The other movies are.
Oh wait. Was there a Tom Cruise movie? 98?
There's a movie I don't know, so I don't want to say no,
okay.
But I don't think so. Think so. So let me just go down the list. But you did you hit it right on the head. Number one of that year was Armageddon. Number 2 was Saving Private Ryan. So, well, Barry, you're on fire. Number 3 was There's Something About Mary. I've never seen that. I don't know what that is.
Ben Stiller.
That's Ben Stiller. All right. Dr. Doolittle. Well, Barry, we have to.
Eddie Murphy?
Yes, Dr. Doolittle was number 4.
Only seen it in school. Like, I've never.
Are you not a Dr. Doolittle fan? I love Dr. Doolittle.
Do you see the new one?
Of course not.
Okay, so you're not a big Dr. Doolittle fan, then, are you?
That's a fair point. But Eddie Murphy, Dr. Doolittle fan. Number 5 was The Waterboy. I'm so surprised that this is on the list. Like, I thought that all of Adam Sandler movies were great DVD movies. I never thought people actually went to the movies to watch Adam Sandler.
That's wild.
So number 5 was Waterboy. Number 6 was Deep Impact. Number 7 was Godzilla. And then 8 was yours, the movie we're doing right now, Rush Hour. And
that's not like a great list.
It's not a great list, but Armageddon, Saving Private Ryan, and Dr. Doolittle are really big movies for me.
Dr. Doolittle and then put in, I don't know. Actually, just remove Dr. Doolittle. Those first 2 movies and Rush Hour. Those 3.
Can I say this? Is Waterboy a millennial classic? It has to be, right?
I think so. Here's a problem. I think we have to do
one of the Happy
one
Gilmore,
one
Happy Madison. What's the thing?
One Adam Sandler.
Yes.
One Adam Sandler movie.
Maybe two. Maybe two.
If I no chance. I'm not but if I had to do one, I would do. Yeah, I was about to fucking lie and do say Mr. Deeds. No, I would
Mr.
do.
Deeds is not bad. The golfing one, right?
The golfing one.
Yeah.
Happy Gilmore? Is that it?
That's Happy Gilmore. I think Happy Madison is the company that he does, right? Yeah. Happy Madison is the company, but Happy Gilmore is probably the go-to millennial classic. Adam Sandler makes such shit movies, man. It's like it's so bad.
Click, dude, that shit fucking killed me.
A fun fact, though, Mulberry. Fun fact: when I was doing research for this movie, when I was looking at top grossing actors for 2020, when I was trying to see what to do for a remake, Adam Sandler is on the list.
Yeah,
it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. It doesn't. He's right under Will Smith. Will fucking Smith. Mulberry.
Yo, he got like 50 mil for Aladdin, bro.
well,
he carried that movie though.
But I understand Will Smith being on the list. I don't understand Adam Sandler being on the list. I don't.
Well, people watch his Netflix movies for some reason.
For some reason is the key phrase there. For some reason. Last thing about
what I bet the Venn diagram of people who storm the Capitol and people who watch Adam Sandler movies on Netflix the day they come out, I bet it's a fucking circle, man.
You are the only person on the planet that would categorize those two things in the same conversation. Why? But I love it. Last thing about My Time Machine, and I had to put this in there because when I saw it, I didn't believe it. So I actually had to Google it. I named all of those fantastic movies of the top 8. And Shakespeare in Love is what won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1998.
Actually,
it's just... You can't. These Academy Awards are shit. They don't know how to pick.
Some really bad years.
Oh my god! I mean,
Shakespeare in Love. Crash won one year. What's the one where the King's Speech won? One year.
It's
the one with the French guy who the silent movie. I can't remember that shit, bro.
Exactly. It's just the Academy Awards. Who gives a shit is the key. It's useless. It's useless. Anyways, that's the Time Machine. Maburi. Talk to me about the making of the movie, how much it made, the ratings, Rotten Tomato. Hit me.
Oh, obviously, from going by the box office list, this was a huge hit.
Yes.
$35 million budget, 32 to 35, but it literally opened to that opening weekend. Number one movie, made like I think it was 140 in the US.
Mulberry, I'm sorry. I have to ask you. It's getting a little warm for me. I'm going to just take my sweater off. One second.
Okay, I don't know why you had to interrupt me. You could have just done that shit. But yeah, so total was 244 million. Yep. So I mean, and this was in the 90s. And then Brett Ratner directed it. He's kind of canceled now, so we'll move on from that. But
I didn't even know that, but nice to know. I won't be posting any Brett Ratner stuff. They get it canceled so fast. I can't keep up, bro. I can't. I don't know. I just don't know.
Yeah. It'd be wild if you got canceled the same way like you cancel credit cards, where it's just like you show up to the club and they're just like, nah, you good.
You're out. Yes. No, thank you. We ended that subscription.
Rotten Tomatoes, 60%. But
that hurts.
So that's low.
Very.
But the audience score out of it from an A to an F, A+ to an F was an A. So like general audiences really like this movie. And then
Barry, how does Rotten Tomatoes work? Do you have to be a critic to?
Yeah,
because I thought anyone could.
So it's the critic rating is what everyone quotes, and the way it works is it's not really like 100% is. It's an A. It's not really like 100% is an 100 out of 100. What it really means is 100% means everyone kind of liked it. It means everyone gave it a 60% or up. So if everyone gives it a shit, that means if everyone gives it a B, then it's 100% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
But
wow.
if you have a movie where half the people give it A's and half the people give it D's or whatever, like if half the people give it 5 out of 5s and half the people give it 2 out of 5s, then it'll be a 50% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, okay. See, that's actually
it's an aggregate. So all it does is it makes sure that if everyone likes a movie, then it's good. But that means movies like Fast and the Furious, where it's like
a fan favorite.
Yeah.
Okay.
They do pretty well. But
Rotten Tomatoes is specifically critics, though. It's not.
There's a critic rating and there's an audience score.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that sucks. The 60% hurts because I love this movie. Is fantastic. I love.
While we're talking about Rotten Tomatoes, this movie actually inspired the creation of Rotten Tomatoes, the website.
Of what movie? Of what website?
Of the Rotten Tomatoes website. So the guy who created it watched this movie and then created the website because he wanted to review the new Jackie Chan, the Jackie Chan movies that are coming in from Hong Kong. Because this is the first Jackie Chan movie where he wasn't dubbed. So this is like Jackie Chan's big US
English.
Yeah. So
Mulberry, I love when you do your homework. This is actually good information.
Yeah. Every once in a while, you hit him with the facts.
That's wild that this is the first. And when we get to the end and we talk about the what's it called at the end with the credits where he can't speak English, that's a fun fact. That is a legit fact to know that this is his first movie that it's not dubbed. This is awesome. I like that. I really do like that. All right, Mulberry, are you ready? Oh, before we get into the actual movie, do you remember where you watched this and what did you remember of this movie before you rewatched it?
Let me just say something about this movie. If you didn't watch this movie on TNT, then you don't know drama, bro. And then you haven't lived, bro. Because this is a classic TNT
heavy hitter
Hall of Fame, bro.
Yes.
This was on TNT at least 2 times a month for like years.
Oh,
or they do like the rush hour
special.
Marathon.
Yeah.
They come on this and Spike TV. Remember Spike TV?
Of course. Who doesn't remember Spike TV? It was the man's channel. Remember? It had all of those man shows. What's it called? So this is...
Spike TV might be a millennial classic, bro. 1,000 Ways to Die. Was it Deadliest Warrior?
Whatever they...
Somali pirates versus ninjas and shit.
Exactly. It had all of those crazy man shows. But I do have to say, I watched this movie. This was back when I was still in South Africa. And in South Africa, I don't know what it was like in Kenya, but in South Africa, Jackie Chan was a legit superhero. Not like he's a great actor and we love him. We thought Jackie Chan was a legit superhero. At least in the Mayanja household, he was a legit superhero. So this was humongous to us, right? And the fact that he was teamed up with an African-American actor, this is heaven on earth for us at the Mayanja household. And at least to all of my friends, and we were 4 or 5 years old, but all I can remember is my family and everyone in our circle thought this was the greatest thing to happen ever, just ever, right? So I do remember watching it with the crew, with the family. This was back home, and it was a humongous deal. And the thing that I remembered about this movie before the rewatch, it was that end scene where Jackie Chan was sliding down the red carpet, or the red whatever thing, and Christopher Carter.
Probably the most bullshit scene in the whole movie.
It probably is, but it stood out the most, and it's what I remembered before the rewatch. Any specific thing that you remembered about the movie before the rewatch?
Just how funny it is. Yeah. That's what I remember the most. Honestly, the action, it's good enough for it to be a good action comedy, but it's not what makes you rewatch it because it's the comedy and the dynamic between the two. So
I love that you said that because I literally have in my notes is, if there were no comedy, it didn't have enough action for this to be an action movie. It doesn't have enough action for you to focus on the action. But no, you're right. All right, let's jump into this movie. Mulberry, walk us through the scenes, your favorite scenes. Which ones popped out to you? Let's go down the list.
All right, so this is going to be pretty even. There's no like starred scenes. I'm just gonna go through all the scenes because unlike you said like the final scene really stood out to you. For me, it was just like every scene. There's a lot of action scenes in this.
Yeah.
Explosions, chases. There's a lot. So for me, it was like kind of like a steady high. There's no like valleys and dips. So the Chris Tucker intro, where Chris Tucker like is wearing sunglasses in a Corvette, crosses like 4 lanes, gets yelled at, pulls up to a meeting like 15 minutes late, yells at the guy he's meeting with that guy's late, that he's been there the whole time. I'm late. No, you late.
You're late.
And then he blows up the car and then starts doing a Michael Jackson dance. I mean, it really just sets the tone of the movie because before that, you see Jackie in Hong Kong.
Yeah. And he's a very serious, hardcore CIA detective. Like, it's like the real thing.
And if you like sat down in the theater and you watched the first part, you were going to be like, I don't know. But then the Chris Tucker part comes and then you're like, okay.
I'm here for it. I'm here for the movie.
That's the tone.
Yes.
What's up, man?
You're late.
Huh?
You're late.
I'm late.
Yeah, you're late.
You late, man. I've been waiting in the back of the diner for you over an hour, man.
I was in the diner.
Man, I told you in the back of the diner. You thought I was gonna do this shit up front, man. You crazy? I'm gonna get busted. You crazy?
I was in.
And it's perfect that you set it up that way because the scene that you care about is the Chris Tucker scene, but you need the difference. You need to see the dynamic, the difference between the Jackie's lifestyle versus the Chris Tucker lifestyle. And ladies and gentlemen, just a little bit behind the scenes. That you're late, I'm late, no, you're late. That's a Mumbury Q special.
It's Q that's late.
That's a conversation Mumbury and I have literally every single time we try to record. But with that being said, I have to say, it is a fantastic scene. It is a fabulous scene. You get the energy right out the way and the ridiculousness, right? First of all, the only thing I have to say about that scene that is out of this world stupid is after Chris Tucker hits the dude in the stomach and is looking at the cops, why doesn't he just pull out his badge and be like, I am a cop too, I'm undercover. He's on the floor.
He'd also just like shown his badge while the guy wasn't looking.
Exactly. There's a million ways that Chris Tucker could have done it, but he decided to follow through the whole thing. Let 2 shots get shot. And then blow up a car in the middle of the city,
which would have made like every news,
right? It's just, and it's like the perfect introduction to Chris Tucker. It's like you said in the diner. I meant behind the diner.
Meanwhile, he just watched them pull up,
drive from the opposite side of the diner. It makes no sense. It's a great introduction to Chris Tucker, and it's a fantastic scene. And look, and this is like my introduction, at least for me, into Chris Tucker. Is this Chris Tucker's like
Friday?
Intro? Oh yeah, Friday. Oh my god! But like for me, I watched Friday after I saw Rush Hour, so I didn't see Friday prior to this. This was my introduction into Chris Tucker, and I think this was probably the majority of the world's because Friday is like a black movie, and we need to do Friday.
I think he was also in Jackie Brown, but I don't know if Jackie Brown was before this or after this.
But like this was my introduction into Chris Tucker, and I loved him the second he got on screen up until like probably the end of Rush Hour 2. Like I absolutely loved him, right? I absolutely loved him the second he was.
Well, he didn't work that much.
He didn't. He didn't do much work, to be honest. Anyways, yes, fantastic scene. Moving on. Next scene.
The LA downtown Chinese theater chase scene where he's getting some info. He picked up Jackie and it's not going well, but he's getting some info, taking them through the sites. Jackie diffs on him. And then they like do the bus chasing, and then Chris Tucker's like posing on the bus with the gun for the Chinese tourists. It's just a fun scene, and you get to like see the first dynamic and how fucking rude this dude is.
Didn't I tell you to wait for me? Huh? What the hell are you doing on this bus? Think I'm playing with you? Huh? Think I'm playing with you? I ain't playing with you. Sit down. All right. It's okay. It's all right. FBI. It's okay. Wait a minute.
Yeah, there's so many things about that scene, Mambari. First of all, when he first picks him up, right? Just screaming at someone's face to see if they understand English is not the way to go about it.
That's honestly, that's how I do it in Europe, bro. When someone doesn't understand me, you yell and talk slower.
It's literally in nursing school. You were taught that is literally the worst way to try to find out if someone speaks English, right? Moving forward from that, he's like, no, I'm not going to put your bags. You put your bags into the back of the truck. And then my favorite thing is when they get to Chinatown and he's like, look familiar? Look, that might be a...
All right, if we're gonna bring this up, let's bring it up now. This is so much casual racism in this goddamn.
Oh my God.
I mean, I don't even know what to say because it's literally like there's casual sexism in too, but the racism is what really stands out. It's bad because it just goes one way, right?
Oh, the entire time.
Like he goes Chun King Cop for the FBI guy. I mean, Chris Tucker says rice-a-roni, Panda Express, cup of noodles, sour chicken ass. I mean, you could just tell that.
In the other way's defense, if I could even say that, Jackie Chan does say the N-word. I mean, he does say the N-word in the movie.
Does he?
Yeah, at the bar, right? That's why that fight starts when he goes interviews his cousin. I mean, he does say the N-word. So, I mean, for a lot of black folks, that's a heavy-handed thing. So,
but you see, there's a difference, right?
There's a whole difference because he doesn't understand the culture.
That's a dude that literally just came from Hong Kong. It was his first time. And then everyone else making fun of this dude have seen Asian people all their lives. They just...
No, but that scene when they get there, bro, when they get to Chinatown and he's like, you might meet a cousin. I'm just like, Chris... It's just he is like the most sleazeball like crazy. It's so perfect. It's so perfect. And then all right, we'll talk about Chris Tucker later because there's so much. It's like every scene he's in, I absolutely love. But the last thing about that scene, Jackie Chan is well known for his fun, exciting action that isn't real action stuff. So when he's jumping from the car into the stop sign onto the other car and into the taxi cab and all of this stuff, it's really cool. I love seeing all that stuff. And that's what Jackie is known for. And it's a great way to put a spotlight on that specific type of action where it's just like acrobats and, ninja jump stuff. What is it called? It was like
he does a lot of physical comedy with the
exactly too. Yes. There you go. All right, love that scene. Great pick. Next scene.
All right, the bar shakedown scene where he goes to meet his cousin and leaves Jackie in the back, and then he goes, like the whole "How come I ain't seen you at church?" When you think it's like a legit shakedown, and he tells Jackie you're way in the back, and you're like, all right, finally he's doing some police work. But he still is, but he's just making himself look good.
He knows the criminal, yeah.
And then you get your first classic I was about to say Japanese, Jackie Chan. I saw the J-A in my notes and I was like, oh, Japanese. No, Jackie Chan fight scene where it's like real comedy. He's got the pool sticks, he's using everything, he's jumping around.
What did you just say?
What's up, my nigga?
Do you know, like when you watch those two scenes, do you know there's no chance Jackie's getting beat up? I mean, it's like
there's no way.
8 guys smoking weed in the pool hall. But just a good scene.
Great scene. A couple of questions about that scene. Mambari, you at a bar, right? And so a fun fact behind the scenes is I watched this movie with Mambari when I visited the East Coast. You're at a bar, Mambari. The bartender gets into a fight with a customer. Do you jump in to protect the bartender? Does that make any sense to you?
This is what you do. All right, because we've all been in situations where people are getting tossed around. You want to get a good angle. That's what you want to do. You want to get a good angle and see what's going down, but you don't want to. It's nature taking its course. So you don't want to interrupt. You just want to get a good angle.
I love the fact. I mean, like, it's of course you need the action, so obviously people need to join into the fight, and Jackie needs to run around and do his physical comedy, which I understand. But you want me to believe that a random bartender and like some random person at the bar is going to fight for a bartender? I think that's just ridiculous. But again, going back to the reason I love the scene, that whole conversation with him and his cousin. He's just like, don't make me this. I'm going to tell Auntie about this. He's like, why are you going to bring Auntie into this? It's amazing. It's like, it's just the entire thing is perfect. It's a great scene. And right at the beginning of that scene, when he grabs the weed and he's like, when he's smelling, it's
that's such a movie thing because no one's ever done that in the history.
Of course not. Of course not. Of course not. Great scene. I like it. Well, next scene.
The downtown bomb, where they do the fake call, and the chase scene afterwards when they see
not Juntao,
the henchman guy,
the blonde, the blonde dude. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Sir, if you were asking for $50 million, would you be in a place like that?
Get this clown away from me.
Take a hike.
yes.
See him and they chase him down. He's not even on IMDb. That sucks. All right, we'll call him Juntao's guy.
Juntao's henchman. Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Sang. It's Sang.
Sang?
Sang. S-A-N-G.
Oh, I see. Ken Lee
It's
Yong.
actually the first. It's the first name on
Ken
IMDb.
Lee Yong. Yes.
It's not Ken Lee Yong. It's Ken Leong. It's two words. Not.
All right, superstar. I'm sorry, I didn't take Chinese in high school. All right, good for you. All right, good for you.
I only took it so I could read the subtitles.
You're insane. Stop. Okay, so that scene, yes.
Yeah, great chase scene. Great, it's another action set piece with the bomb going off, and then you get to see Jackie chase him and then jump up the fire escape, and Chris is doing his own thing, trying to keep up.
Yes.
I like how Chris Tucker is a comedian, but he's still kind of holding his own. Like, you can still run and shit. Yeah, it's not like, when you do a buddy cop and one dude's just like, you just don't even believe he's a cop.
No.
You know those? And you're just like, all right.
I know what you mean. Yes.
Martin Lawrence was getting there in Bad Boys.
I was about to say that. I was about to say that last Bad Boys.
But they make a point about it. Like, he's got the minivan. He's like not about it, but
he doesn't kill people no more. Yes, I got you. I do like that scene, but Barry, I have to tell you, the conversation with Chris Tucker on the phone with Sang prior to that.
Bring that up later because that's one of the greatest combos and outtakes.
It's amazing. All right, so let's wait for later because let's talk about the actual scene. So in this actual scene, when Jackie goes up to the head agent to talk, and then Chris Tucker hides behind the pole.
We've all done that.
He's like, "What are you talking about? I was bending over to tie my shoe." Fantastic, right? Fantastic. It makes a lot of sense that Jackie's over here jumping in between buildings and climbing up ladders, and Chris Tucker's yelling, "Drop the ladder lower! Drop the ladder lower!" Right? And I love this because it's a real thing, and you see it in the outtakes. And Maburi just said this is the first movie that Jackie Chan's not dubbed. So the fact that Chris Tucker doesn't understand everything that Jackie's saying, they made a point to make it a part of the movie. So that's why they fell through the thing. It just all of it made so much sense. I love it. Good scene. I think it's a more action. Yes, this is one of those action scenes, and I wasn't feeling it so much, but I can understand why someone would pick it.
Yeah, FBI takes a lot of L's.
Bro. They were like, and Jackie, and just to a serious note of this movie, when Jackie asked the FBI agent, if you were looking for 500,000, whatever the number was, I don't know how much.
If you were getting $50 million, would you do a setup here?
Exactly. I was like, that's a really good question.
Just get this clown out of here.
And then 3 of his agents die. Get the clown out of here. Yeah. And if you are an agent and there's no one in the building and it's an empty, deserted building, and you see a phone ringing, knowing that this is the head of some crazy
low key. Like 20 dudes just died, and then they just never talked about it.
They never mention, bro. They never
decimated.
They never even mention it. Never. Not even a second after that. Anyways, yes. Okay. Last thing about that scene. What I love about Chris Tucker, because in the very opening scene with Jackie Chan in the movie where he's chasing Song, while I was watching the movie with Mumburi, Jackie Chan pulls out his gun when he's driving away in the boat, and he doesn't shoot a single bullet. In this scene, Chris Tucker's there. The dude's driving away in his car. Chris Tucker takes out his gun and empties the clip. Which makes a lot more sense, right? I remember
he did it in the opening scene. That's like the this is a big word, juxtaposition between the two characters in the beginning, because one of them is reserved and actually calculates what he's doing, and the other one
just doesn't give a fuck, bro. The other one will blow up a car in the middle of what city? That's San Francisco. In the middle of San Francisco.
No, that was LA, bro.
LA, of course. We're talking about the LA cops. Yes, yes. Next scene.
The Chinatown Stakeout, the war song, when they actually start bonding, and this is like the turning point in the relationship where they're just like, like, I'm a cop, you a cop, our parents are both cops, like we both want to get this kid, and
What is it good for? Absolutely
You don't know nothing about no war.
Everybody knows war. Yeah. What it is it good for? Absolutely nothing. Good God, you are.
Yeah, the song is fantastic. The music it's like a mini montage. It's not really a montage, but it kind of is a montage, right? They do the practicing of the stealing the gun away from each other.
And you know that's going to come up later. Like when Carter learns it, and you just know, like, all right, he's going to do that shit later.
He's going to do it later. It's sad that Jackie never got to do the flipping of the badge thing later.
He did at the restaurant. He just falls, remember?
Oh, well, it didn't work. But yes, okay, yes. You're right. But it is a great scene. And this is it gets to your feels in the right way. Because when you watch a buddy cop movie, the goal is to make these two people that don't like each other or are having some issues between each other come together. And it's the feels in the perfect way, because it's like, I believe that these two are now becoming friends, right? In the beginning, one of them didn't even tell the other one that they spoke English. Then throughout the entire time, Jackie thinks Carter is an idiot. He kind of might still be an idiot, but they at least can work together, right? And at this point, right, Jackie understands Agent Carter's dad was a cop, so he understands the culture behind it. There's like reason and meaning behind this, right? And then at least Agent Carter believes Jackie, because now he's seen Jackie do his shit. He's like, this is a legit cop. He knows what he's doing. Let me follow his lead. So I really like this part of the movie, right? And just the dancing and the singing and the music was perfect.
Yeah.
Whoever the
soundtrack is elite.
Elite. That's a great way to put it.
And he won platinum. That's something else.
Are you serious?
This is back when soundtracks went platinum. Nowadays, it's just like the Hamilton soundtrack and what's the one with Hugh Jackman where he sings all the time?
Oh, from that movie.
Movies.
Yeah,
the circus,
the greatest show on earth, whatever that movie is. But yes, it was fantastic, and the dancing, the whole thing, and they go around dancing like this in the middle of the street, because that happens in real life. Great scene, great scene. Yes, I love that scene. All right, any other?
I think never mind.
What? Talk to me. What are you talking about?
I was gonna say the LA cops that beat that dude up in 98. They did the same montage, bro. But I forgot his name.
Right, it's Rodney King.
King. Yeah.
Rodney King.
Could you imagine, bro, if they had that? Like it leaked, and they had like a whole fucking montage. They were dancing and shit. And
hey, did the riots happen in 98?
I think so.
How did I not have that in my time machine? That is so bad. If the riots happened in 98 and we have Agent Carter over here dancing in the middle of the street, blowing up cars in LA, the same goddamn year, not giving two shits. Oh, this movie is so good, though.
That was 92.
Okay, so there was a little bit of time between the insanity of LA cops.
Damn, dude, when you Google Rodney King, you know what it says under his name?
What?
American author.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's a glow up, bro.
It's a glow up.
Bro, they could have been like the dude.
Can you do me a favor real quick? Can you type in OJ? What does it say under OJ's name?
So,
American author?
former National Football League running back. Google just does a glow up for everyone.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Well, at least
Acquitted murderer.
That's what it should have said. That's what it should most definitely say. And wow. So
you know what's cold?
Wait,
this is the
what?
coldest shit I've ever seen.
What?
I know OJ Simpson, his info. You know how like Google has like an info thing for
Yeah,
people?
on the right. Yeah.
So for this, for the height, it says 6 feet 1 inch, and then in parentheses, same as Aaron Hernandez. I've never seen that before. That's wild.
Yeah. That is someone specifically putting in some dirty ass shit. That doesn't just pop up. Okay. How often do they say you have the same height as someone else? I love that. That's their way of getting their dig. But I like the fact that we just talked about that, because the entire beginning of the movie, when I was first watching this movie, I remember I watched this in South Africa. So I was like, I understand people hate cops, but in the movie, the FBI agents are like, we're going to have to give it to some shit cop. And that shit cop might as well be from a shit station from LAPD, right? Yeah. So now knowing that after 1992, Rodney King happened in 1992, everyone hates LAPD.
He says sense. It. He's like, my own mama doesn't talk to me or some shit like that.
Exactly. I was about to say that next. Even Chris Tucker's own mother tells people that he sells drugs instead of being a cop. So it makes sense. Knowing the time.
To be fair, he probably does sell drugs too.
In the scene where they go go to the jail, and he's like, remember that time I didn't report you for picking up weed?
And he's like, I was splitting with you.
I was splitting the weed with you. Yes. Anyways, good scene. I really do love that scene. It really gets you in the fields in the right way a buddy cop movie should. Anyway, any other scenes?
The Fu Cha restaurant.
The Fu Cha, okay. Yes.
A lot of big Chris Tucker energy. This is like a big Chris Tucker scene because Jackie Chan actually waits outside, and then you get to see Chris Tucker does that thing where the food's he's like pretending to be a guy. And he's like, I'm here for Juntao, his lawyer.
Cause I'm his half brother from Beijing. Me and him got the same mama. I'm Blackanese. We all the same. Oh, hey, man, wait a minute. Okay, you gonna kill me? All right, if you gonna kill me, put the gun down and fight me like a man. That's right, fight me like a man.
And then, first of all, it doesn't look like a lawyer, but
what does that mean?
Vibes. He doesn't have lawyer vibes, bro. Yeah. Dude's just like, nah, I'm his lawyer. Seems like a cop is what he seems like off the jump.
But I wouldn't say cop, because he talks way too much for a cop. The thing I love about that scene is because
my favorite part about that scene is the food that goes by, and he waves it over to him, and then he sniffs it, and then he's like, nah. And I was like, dude, that's big energy. I really like that. Like, if you do that in a restaurant, then he goes like, you got any eel? Because that's what Jackie Chan showed him.
Yes.
I mean, great. He gets hit in the face later on. He goes, which one of y'all hit me?
Exactly. And that's when you hear that line that they use at the end of the movie. Fight me like a man, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fight me like...
Yep. And then this is where you get the Juntao reveal. And we're going to talk about Juntao. I don't know if you want to talk about him now, but
Why don't we talk about Junetown now? Because this dude is all kinds of no. Let's wait till late because I do want to bring up from the beginning and the end. I do want to talk about him as a whole. Let's wait till we get to the cast. Let's just talk about the scene now. You do get the Junetown reveal, but right now, just tell me this: were you surprised at all? At all? Like I'm talking about the first time you watched the movie. Were you surprised?
Yeah. I mean, it's not like that. It's not like that The Wire meme where the Weibo's like, "Oh my god!" It's not like that shit. But it's a good enough twist for like, and the whole point is it's not like Usual Suspects where like the whole movie's built on it.
Yeah.
Even if you know he's Junta from the very
don't
beginning.
Care. Yeah, it doesn't.
I mean, literally in the beginning when they're like, the Consul Han's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, we got him."
We got him.
And then it cuts to him
to like cheers.
Which, by the way, his face when they took all his shit, he's a better man than me because my face would have been like, "Fuck."
He's got a good poker face. Yes.
Yeah.
But going back to that scene, Mulberry, let's say you're not Chris Tucker, let's say you're not Agent Carter, but you're the person that's supposed to get that plate of food. How do you feel if someone just stuck their nose in your plate and shoot it away?
Honestly, this is the thing. Chinese restaurant, I might tell them to send it back just because I know they can make shit quick. Right? I know they can make it. It's just quick fry on the wok, bro. Throw some MSG in that shit and then bring it back out. If it's like some shit where it's like a half-hour cook and I'm fucking starving and someone just sniffs that shit, I'll be like, yeah, just bring it here. But that's unacceptable.
But that is like the biggest dick energy move you could do in a restaurant ever. First of all, he says hey to the waitress. He sniffs the food and then shoos it away like he owes it. Yeah. But everything up until that point, where he's like, "I'm a lawyer. I just got to talk to my mama, my baby mama." He's telling him this whole story. You think I'd be here if I didn't?
No lawyers ever said that ever in your life.
Ever. And he's like, "I'm here for Junta. You think I wouldn't be here for the whole reason? I know he's upstairs. Where's Junta?"
And also, Junta should not be anywhere near this child.
No.
First of all, she probably recognizes him. So, so why are they together? Why is he in the back alley of some seedy van making sure the kid goes away? This dude should just be relaxing in a hotel room and letting the henchmen do all this shit.
There's no way he should be there at all, anywhere close. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. And then when we get to that place, I don't know. I just feel like, of course, this is a movie and you need to make sure this thing keeps going. I can understand not killing, what's his name? Agent Carter because he's American. But I don't even understand that because you are in America, right?
They are going to kill him.
I think you think so because I feel like they
are going to kill him and then Jackie shows up.
Oh no, yeah, you're right.
He's seen too much.
Yeah, he's seen way too much. But I do really like that scene, and then that's when they first get into the that's when you really see the real action of Jackie fighting the other bad guy.
Also, that's the point where it's like if they had just called that shit in.
You said this, yes. The movie would have ended at that scene.
They literally Jackie and
Agent, they'd just been like, "We know where Song is," and he's
also
here.
If they had just staked it out and been like, "Let me just pop my head in the back." And see a fucking van, and then you're just like, all right.
Instead of sending Agent Carter in pretending to be Juntao's lawyer.
And they just leave out the back. I mean, this is like 101 shit. But
worst copping ever in the history of being a cop. Yeah. Yes. Any more scenes, Mulberry?
The last scene, the finale at the expo.
I can hold on anymore.
Miss Hurt Locker doing work. Mm-hmm. She really shows her bomb skills that they've been peppering throughout the movie.
Exactly.
Jackie protecting the art. Good comedy gag.
And it's culturally important. I love that. It's comedy. It's cultural. It means something. You believe it. It doesn't seem silly. Like they could have made it really silly, but you believe that Jackie cares about it. The entire movie is about Juntao stealing Chinese art, and he wants to save it because he cares about the culture. It makes sense. I really like the way they pulled that off. Yes, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I appreciate that part of the movie.
Yeah, and it's just it's a good finale. It has Jackie falling and Carter saving them with that huge ribbon. But every time I watch it, I'm always like, he grabs the wrong one. He grabs the far one and has to run across the giant ass room to catch him. But whatever, it works.
It works. So, all I know is I really want to see, you know how they had those Mythbusters? Can you really drop a penny from the State Empire building and kill someone? I would love to know if it's possible. I don't think that's possible, Bubber. You can't fall from like a 6-story building and get caught on a thing with some person just hold. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it. I don't believe it. I know Jackie does all his stunts, but I don't know. But that entire scene, look, listen, it's not going to be any surprise to anybody, but Chris Tucker is my MVP. When he starts at the beginning of that scene, there's a bomb threat. You guys got to get out of here. And then no one moves. And he's like, did you hear what I said? Get the hell out of here, right? Amazing start to the scene, right? And when you mentioned that the cop that does the bombing that they have sprinkled out throughout the movie, super important because it's just, and this is 1998, but even in like nowadays when we have movies with these pretty ladies, it's so easy to just make them the love interest or just a cute girl in the picture who's just another cop. She was important. They made her job necessary, and she had a very important job at the end of the movie that would have cost the actual life of the person we were trying to save.
Oh yeah, right. I kind of wish she had more.
Oh yeah, because she's
not my LVP, but I kind of wish she had more to do.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. And when you have someone like that in a movie, that means that they did a good job giving you enough where you either want more. You never want too much or you never want to think that they're useless. So I love that they did that. It was a great ending. And then that entire final scene had all of the perfect payoffs, especially with fight like a man, wipe yourself off, you have blood on your face, all of those things. It was like, yes, I was waiting for that. I wanted that. I didn't even know I wanted that, but it happened. It was a great finale to a movie. And then I watched this with Mumburi. And when Mumburi said this to me, it was like the perfect thing because every action buddy cop movie ended the same way. Mumburi, I'll let you explain. Please tell
us. I forgot, so you got to.
Okay, so if you watch any movie made in the 90s till probably 2005 that had some kind of action, big explosion scene, right? It always ended with the police and the ambulance outside after everything else was taken care of, right? The good guys were getting bandaged up.
It's since Die Hard, it's literally
exactly.
Like one guy's bandaged up, like one guy got shot or hurt, he's bandaged up.
And he's back of the ambulance.
Telling the EMTs back the fuck off. And then the other guy's like meeting up with his like girlfriend or whatever.
Right.
Or in this case, the consul, and he's like, I did it. And then you see more cops and ambulances showing up. Always.
It's like, and if you think about it, and I would love to know if we can even find out this, but it's literally every action movie from like 1990 till like 2005 that ends the exact same way. Cops showing up late, back of the ambulance, the good guys are getting bandaged up, and the other guys getting the credit for doing the right thing, even though they weren't supposed to. So it's just the way action movies ended for a very long time. And in this movie, I kind of loved it. I can't complain. I cannot complain. I have to say this, and remember, usually you come on the show, you're like, it's a good movie, but there were 4 scenes that popped out. It sounded like you really liked this movie. I think that's 5, 6 scenes that you picked this time.
6 scenes and nothing. And like I said, nothing popped out because it was solid.
Sustained. It was sustained. It's a great movie. That's why I was really shocked at that 60% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's cardio, not sprints on this one.
And it was great cardio. Fucking good times the entire time.
The rowing machine. You know what I'm talking about. Peloton.
Of course. Mumburi. So it's the big question. Which one's your favorite?
I'm gonna pass on this, bro. I don't have a favorite for this movie. I like the movie. This is the movie I could start at any point in time, and I just sit down.
I really like that because I had a really hard time picking a favorite scene. I'm obsessed with the Agent Carter Chris Tucker in this movie, so I have to pick the intro because, like you said in the beginning of the podcast, when you first watch the movie and you see Jackie Chan, it's like, okay, this is an action movie. I'm kind of bored, right? The second he gets on screen, it's like a shot of joy into your body. It's like levity, it's so good. So like that intro is just so funny. It's such a drastic change of like what the movie has been up until that point. And it's everything that you see and expect from Agent Carter Chris Tucker. So I have to pick that. And then this is just a soft spot for me. Chris Tucker loves Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was basically a god to me before we found out about the kid twiddling thing, right? And so that dance at the end of that scene, just the craziness. So I would have to pick that intro of Chris Tucker. The whole argument about who's late, I'm late. It's just, it's so good. It's so good. So that has to be my favorite scene. Mumbury, I have to say,
MVP. What are you saying?
I was going to say, I have to say all of the time, I always complain because you missed something or you didn't pick the scene or whatever. The only thing I have, the only scene I want to talk about for just even a second.
I already know what you're going to say.
Was when he got to the FBI spot. Or were you thinking something else?
I was going to say when the kid gets kidnapped, when Su Yang gets kidnapped.
Yes.
And then first of all, this is one of the worst kidnapping attempts. Because the two people protecting her see an Asian dude who is the henchman for their boss's main enemy. Like it's not like it's a random guy. It's like this dude be on a wanted list. He's got like a huge scar. He's
blonde Asian dude. It's like, why are you surprised? There's how many blonde Asian dudes with a big scar and tattoo on their face do you know?
Probably 100 million, bro. But it all
you're an animal, Mumbury.
It all culminates in him quoting the name of the song when he's like, "Is there a problem, officer?"
Name of the movie.
Name of the movie. No problem. Just Rush Hour.
Yes.
It's just you love to see it.
Is there a problem, officer? No problem. Just Rush Hour.
You love to see it because I was going to mention that when we got to quotables, because yes, of course, everyone. If you say the movie, if you say the title of the movie in the movie, but you make it work, you get so much credit. It makes no sense. Yes, it was a horrible attempt of stealing, of a kidnapping. But Mumbury, you have to understand where else can you kidnap a diplomat's kid?
I need more than two guys and like one lucky guy on a motorcycle, And
I get it.
I gotta do shouts to Su Yang,
yes,
because she actually puts up a fight, and this is
like a legit fight. Like a legit fight.
Honestly, I hate when people get kidnapped and they just go along with it like it's an Uber. I mean, you gotta know, like once you're in that van, bro, no one's ever seen you again.
Exactly. So you gotta fight like your life depends on it. And she did do that. She did do that. She kicked someone in the face. I mean, she really got some real hits.
Scooped up at the end by the motorcycle a little too easily.
Yeah.
But other than that, great work. Just love it when you put up a fight.
Yeah, because once you're on the motorcycle, if you're fighting the person on the motorcycle, you're going down too. So, I understand.
But you gotta go down there, then fucking
then get tortured in some random closet. But the only scene that I wanted to talk about, because this is another, of course, Agent Carter scene to me, is when he first goes to the FBI thing, right? When he first gets called and he thinks he's getting the biggest job ever.
Hey man, I'm gonna need one of those headphones. Yeah.
Right? Everything he does from the second he gets there. He parks his car right out front. He throws the keys to the dude standing out in the front. He throws the keys. He He asked the dude to get one of the headsets. He's, I'm gonna need one of those. He walks into the room. The dude's on the phone reading some papers. He grabs the papers out of the dude's hand. Burry.
Yeah, you almost like can't wait for him to get shut down because you know it's happening, and they literally build it up so it's like this dude is an asshole and he deserves the humiliation.
Look, listen. As much as you don't even want to call it a glow up, as much as you don't like how the LAPD sent him to do this babysitting job, if you work,
he deserves it though.
Yeah, if you work with someone like that, he deserves. What are you doing? Walking into an FBI investigation, something this important, grabbing papers out of people's hands, interrupting conversations. Like this dude really thinks he's fucking Sherlock Holmes.
The best thing they did in Rush Hour 3 was demote him to street cop because it's like that's how this dude's life would end up.
Exactly.
He's so annoying and grating to everyone he works with. That there's no chance. Even the fact that he made detective is pretty
insane.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's nuts. All right.
MVP.
Well, before we get to MVP, I have to ask. I don't know if there's even a yes because you've been pretty good about saying this movie has been good the entire way.
Worst scenes, none.
None. Agreed. MVP.
Chris Tucker.
Exactly. Not even close. Agent Carter. Like I
mean,
said,
if you look at Chris Tucker's career, it's this movie.
It's this movie. Rush Hour 2. Stop. Rush Hour 2 was good.
That's because of this movie.
Of course. But as I said in the beginning of this movie, in South Africa, Jackie Chan was amazing. Like we thought that he was the greatest thing ever.
But he's done better stuff.
He's done better stuff. Number one, and number two, Chris Tucker carried this movie. He carried this movie. He was, yes, Jackie brought the action and all of this action comedy and all of that stuff.
I think if you play this movie straight and you get like Tom Hanks, and it's like, well, gee, guy, I don't know. I don't know how they do it in Hong Kong.
So you think Tom Hanks is that good of an actor? You don't know how they do it in Hong Kong. Huh? You're the absolute worst, Wilbury. You're the worst.
I think they needed someone like Chris Tucker, and I think he knocks it out of the park. And it's one of those roles where I can tell you that who else was considered and who else they offered the part to, but it's one of those roles where it's like
nobody else.
This is like Chris Tucker made for this.
Yes. Okay. So do you want to say that this is where he peaked?
Chris Tucker?
This is Chris Tucker's peak? Because
he probably had more juice in Rush Hour 2.
He had more juice in Rush Hour 2. This is a better movie. I think this is a better movie. He had more juice in Rush Hour 2. But he didn't do anything else after that. He did like
Silver Linings Playbook for like 15 minutes.
For 15 minutes, which he wasn't bad in that scene. I actually liked him. I watched that movie recently. Like I think like
him in Silver Linings Playbook is like Dave Chappelle in that
the song movie with Lady Gaga. Yeah.
It's like, what are these people doing here? It's like so random two scenes.
You need a friend. You need a black friend in a movie, bro. Just
these diversity quotas are getting crazy.
But like, do you remember his scene in that, like his character in that movie?
Silver Lining Playbook or Dave Chappelle?
No, Silver Lining.
He plays like
the dude is trying to escape It's like it's such a good late Chris Tucker. It really is another great character for Chris Tucker to play. Right, it's just over talkative, trying to escape, always trying to bullshit someone. Like it's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's also a great. I liked it. I really liked him in that movie. But this has to be his peak. If it's not Rush Hour, it's Rush Hour 2. But Rush Hour 2 only happens because of Rush Hour. You could sway me either way. I do believe this is his peak. And then LVP, Mumbury.
So here's the thing. I put Tom Wilkinson for Jun Tao. And here's the thing. This is nothing against the actor because I think Tom Wilkinson's a dope actor. He's in one of my favorite movies, Michael Clayton. And he's so good. He's a mad good actor.
Okay.
But the thing with this movie, and I hate when this happens, but this happens in a bunch of action movies. The bad guy is an old CEO white guy. And then he's going up against Jackie Chan. And it's It's what do you? Everyone knows it. It's like remember that James Bond movie Quantum of Solace?
Yes.
Where the bad guy was just some white guy who just wanted water. He was just a guy who. And then at the end of the movie, they have a fight, but it's not like it's his bodyguard fighting. It's literally him, and he's just swinging an axe wildly, and you're just like, what is this guy?
What's going on here? He's going up against James Bond. Like, let's stop playing games.
He goes to board meetings all day, and now
he sees the axe murdering soup.
Like, it's the same thing with Juntao. It's this old guy.
Yeah, trying to climb up the stairs while Jackie's climbing up.
Dude is struggling to climb ladders. Jackie Chan is like literally climbing around poles, like vertically. And then when they catch up to each other, this dude's swinging luggage like he works at LaGuardia, and you're just supposed to be like, yeah, this is a close fight. There's no chance.
I agree with you. I agree with you. But at the same time, yes, the fighting part, I kind of understand, but they never make it a point in this movie to try to make it out to see that he can actually fight. Juntao,
you know what would have been dope? If it was Pierce Brosnan.
Who?
If it was Pierce Brosnan, the old James Bond before this one.
What do you mean? No, let me
Brosnan.
Him.
You know what he looks like. Die Another Day James Bond. The James Bond before this James Bond, Daniel Craig.
Oh, yes. I know exactly who you're talking about. Yes.
If he was Juntao.
Yes. You would believe it.
Believe it.
But if Pierce Brosnan was Juntao, he would have a lot more juice. They would give him a lot more time to shine. They didn't give enough screen time of Tom Wilkinson for him for you to even like him as a bad guy.
And him showing up.
He never had a bad guy speech. He never gave orders or killed one of his henchmen that fucked around. He never did anything that outside of stealing some stuff.
I think if they redid it, I think he would have a speech or he would have a monologue or something like that. Because he does it kind of, when they reveal him, first off, this dude is the same guy who was stone cold when they took $80 million or however much of his shit right in front of his face in the middle of a dinner party. Stone cold.
Yes.
All Jackie Chan does is yell Juntao across a room, and this motherfucker just cracks. He's just
wait. What do you want him to do that? Pretend he hides behind a pole?
No, he just pretends it's not him and walk away, bro. He's literally talking to Sang at the thing.
Yeah,
someone yells Juntao, and he just all of a sudden starts freaking out.
That's me. It's me. How'd you find out? Well, now that you know, I'm gonna tell you my
entire everything away from me. Motherfuckers really thought that's the most British thing, bro.
Yeah.
You go to a country, you take all the shit, and then when you have to give it back, you're like,
it's mine, though.
Guys are so ungrateful.
And it's so funny that you say that, because he says, do you know how much time it took me to steal? Yeah. Steal. I don't give a fuck how long it took you to steal $80 million worth of Chinese.
I think England has the crown jewels from India. And it's just they're just yeah, we can't give this shit back. You wouldn't even know what to do with it. We'll just keep it safe over here.
In our museum, so people can look at it.
Bro.
It's amazing. But for me, for my LVP, I do have the. I'm sorry, I didn't even look up their names in IMDb, but the FBI agents, the ones who said who assigned Agent Carter, whatever. I have them as just the LVP because they were kind of secondary, but I don't know. They just made really, really stupid decisions the entire time, specifically that bomb threat.
Good job, bro.
Right? And then at the end of the movie, when they try to kiss ass and suck up to Chris Tucker, is my favorite thing. When Chris Tucker is like, why did you take that badge and shove it up your ass? It was the perfect.
Actually, the trivia, I found out that apparently after this, they get demoted to Capitol Security for the insurrection.
So they were part of the insurrection. Yeah. We're going to hold on to that joke real tight. But I like it. It worked, and I'm with it. All right.
Let me tell you who else was. So these were the other guys that were offered the role. Martin Lawrence and Eddie Murphy.
For Agent Carter.
Eddie Murphy turned it down for Holy Man or whatever dog shit movie he did in the late 90s. Martin Lawrence, I mean, he did Bad Boy, so I mean, I guess
it would be it would be very repetitive, but at the same time,
I think he got, what was it, Big Mama's House? When's the first one of those come on?
That's a good
question.
Martin
Lawrence was
Martin Lawrence was pretty good because he also had Blue Streak.
He was a bigger star. Yeah, so it makes sense. They offered it to both of them first. But the other guys that they said they considered were Will Smith, Dave Chappelle, and Tupac. Now, I think, wasn't Tupac dead by the time this movie came out?
I think so. I think it would have been one of them situations where they had to recast
the hologram.
No, he didn't have that technology back in the
day. Also, apparently, in the very first evolution of this movie, it was supposed to be Chris Farley
and Jackie Chan
and a black guy.
Oh, Chris Farley.
And then they pivoted and they were like, "No, we want to do a
Jackie
Asian guy and a black guy."
Back in the day, outside of Jackie Chan, Jet Li was your only other option.
No, you could go Chow Yun-Fat, bro.
Who's that?
Chow Yun-Fat. Let me see, what movie would you know him from? Oh, Pirates of the Caribbean. You know, the Asian pirate?
Oh, yeah.
Welcome to Singapore.
Yes, I guess. But having
no, but he was an action star. He did a movie called Hard Boiled, which was a mad good movie in Hong Kong in the 90s.
I'll take your word for it. What I have to say is, in the beginning of this, you told me that you wouldn't believe any other actor could do it. I have to disagree with you when you mentioned Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence. I think those are Will Smith can't do what Chris Tucker does. Will Smith would expect a lot more respect in his character role than Chris Tucker gets in his role. And all of the other people you mentioned, no.
I think Eddie Murphy's the same too.
You think so?
Watch Beverly Hills Cop. Watch Beverly Hills Cop and then come back.
Hey, come back again. All right. We got the movie connoisseur over here. He said, don't call him and say with me until you watch Beverly Hills Cop.
Don't talk about Eddie Murphy fucking buddy cops until you see Beverly Hills Cop in 48 hours.
All right.
Do you have an LVP? Oh, you said the two FBI guys.
The two things. So remake, recast. Remember, do you have anything? I have a recast. I have options just to recast, but I don't have a remake like you always do.
I have a reboot kind of, but
can I just get mine out the way, please? Because it's super quick. It's just super quick.
Mine's gonna be quick too.
I would love to see this movie remade. You need a fast talker and an action star. And I know we don't have the Jackie Chan physical comedy, but I would love to see Michael B. Jordan be the action star and like an Aziz Ansari be the fast talker, smart mouth. I think that could work. I know it's a stretch. I know it's a stretch.
You said Kumail Nanjiani.
I was thinking, but he's. I know he was in Harold and Kumar.
He was not in Harold and Kumar.
Who was he?
Penn. But oh my God.
Wait, he was in Silicon Valley? Wait, he was in something called like.
Did you say Silicon Valley?
What is it? What is it?
Silicon Valley?
Whatever it is. I knew he could do comedy. Bro. I know he could do comedy, but I just don't see him doing that right now.
He did an action comedy with Dave Bautista called Stuber. Came out in 2019.
Yeah, that was the worst thing I've ever seen. Though I stopped that movie halfway through. I didn't finish the movie. I did not watch the full movie.
For it either.
Yeah. But on the other side, and this is my progressive side coming out, and I wanted to do this, but I also have a deep dying crush on Lupita Nyong'o. So I would love to see Lupita. I wanted an action like female star. So I was thinking Aquafina, but then I want the comedy more than I want the action. So I said Lupita and Mindy Kaling. What do you think about that, Baburi?
Who's doing action between the two of them?
I think Lupita can do some action. You could get Lupita to do. She was in Black Panther. You could see they could train Lupita into do some action. But like I said, this movie isn't about the action. You could get like they got Martin Lawrence in Bad Boys 3. You could do anything if you could get Martin Lawrence to prove.
Martin Lawrence is funny, and Will Smith was the action. So here's the thing. I kind of went with the same thing.
Okay.
It was like, all right, we can't do. I think the whole China America thing. It's over.
It's played out, right? And right now,
no, I don't think you can do it now. Anyway, I think China and America, they're like enemies anymore now. Anyway, so. I don't think so. What I would do, I think if a Chinese cop showed up, they would just be like, go home, go home. We'll buy the ticket, go home, because you ain't doing shit here. End the movie. Credits.
You have no hope. There's no hope. You're like, look, you got God. So all right,
you gotta go home, but we don't care what you're saying, bro. We got police here. You go home. We don't care.
All right.
I mean, you think the Chinese would let like a cop just show up from America
to do a deep investigation? If it was about an American diplomat, right? Like if it was like, I don't know, Joe Biden. Who's Joe Biden's kid that was stealing money from the other thing? What's Joe Biden's
Ukraine?
kid? Well, yeah, whatever.
No, there's another one.
The bow died. Jesus Lord Christ. Whatever. If it was like that,
you called Cal Penn Camille and Johnny, so let's relax.
I know. Okay. All right. So who are you people? Just give me the recast before we get ourselves in any more trouble.
So I went with Lakeith Stanfield or Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah. Okay.
And then Awkwafina.
I like the mix. I was
just like,
I like the mix.
Do the comedy.
Yes. And you can trust her to do that.
Yeah. And then you could just have one of the other two be the action star. Or if you want to flip it. But I was just thinking, get a good comedian to do some good scenes, and then you can have jokes go both ways, you know?
Who?
You can have jokes go both ways.
Who is that?
It's a sentence. You can have jokes go both ways.
Oh, jokes. Oh, I thought you were saying a name. I'm sorry. Jokes go both ways. Yes. I got it. But the thing is, like, is there a movie where you have Michael B. Jordan do any comedy, Mulberry? Like, I haven't seen Michael B. Jordan.
He did a couple romantic comedies that I haven't seen.
That's the point, right? That's my point. I don't believe that Michael B. Jordan can make me laugh. I don't believe he had the juice. So I like the Awkwafina.
He was hilarious as Killmonger. Absolutely hilarious.
I'm sure if you want to see it that way. Any final thoughts, Mumbai? I think we did a great job. I think we really went through this movie. Rush Hour is a great movie. Any final thoughts?
I think that's Sang. Sang is a good character, but when he's like has the gun out pointed at the FBI agent and his hand is shaking. I love a good shaking hand.
Shaking hand.
And they just like the camera just is like closed in on his hand and you see it shaking. You're like, this is a tense situation.
Just before you finish up, you're right. Having a good henchman is hard to find because henchmen either take too much away from the big boss guy or you want them to be the big boss guy instead.
Yeah.
Saying he doesn't do enough talking for him to be the bad guy, and he does a lot of the action for him to be a great henchman. He is a great henchman for the big boss man. I agree.
And then the double shoulder holsters that Carter wears. That's so 90s. We talked about this with The Mummy.
The Mummy, yes.
It's so 90s. And I just wish we brought that shit back because it's so unnecessary. And it just tells everyone you have guns. And it must be so much harder to reach it than just on your belt.
Yeah.
But it looks great.
The shoulder holsters are great, and I love it because that's in the scene where the money's all over the place and he's picking up the money. Right before we end, just that last scene when I said he was falling from the ceiling. Jackie Chan is screaming at the top of his lungs, "Help me!" And then he's like, "Don't, just hang on. I'm gonna go get help." That's no time to make jokes, Negro. That's not a time. He should have
just fallen and died, and he was like, "Oh shit."
Right, that's not the time to make any jokes. But yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, and then we got to talk about the outtakes.
Oh my God! Well, of course,
this movie plays the outtakes in the credits.
Yep.
Which
needs to come back. Which needs to come back.
And this is like top 3 outtakes of all time.
Yes. All of the outtakes are absolutely hilarious, and there has to. I mean, like bloopers, outtakes, whatever you want to call it. There's an art in picking the outtakes you want to pick, right? And all of the outtakes that they do pick, right? And in all of Jackie Chan's movies, where you see Jackie's outtakes, Jackie is like perfect for making outtakes. It's because you see the actor trying to do things you think look very easy and natural, and those are the kind of outtakes you want to see. But Jackie does the specific type of action where it's action comedy, so all of his outtakes of the action comedy is even funnier. And then number 2, just the outtakes of Jackie trying to speak English, Chris Tucker trying to speak Chinese. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's you see behind this is the behind the scenes you want to see. You don't want to see the fucking sound guy holding the pole and dropping. That's not the outtake you want to see. You want to see the actors work their way through the process of being an actor. I absolutely love the outtakes. And Chris Tucker's trying to say that word in Chinese for the eel or whatever in the airplane. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. I love it. And then the dancing when they do this. I love it. Rush Hour is a great movie. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Rush Hour is our first buddy cop movie millennial classic? I think so, right? Oh no, we did the rundown doesn't count because they weren't cops.
No,
right?
that's a buddy. But it's the same idea.
Same idea. Anyways, this is an absolutely fantastic buddy cop movie. It's one of the big 3 of the trilogies of our generation. Please go back, sit back, take some popcorn. You see Jackie Chan, which is a superstar of superstars, and Chris Tucker, which is a comedian superstar. They tag team, and they create magic. They create magic. A few racist things, right? A few, but this movie is absolutely amazing. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Please, you guys, we need them 5 stars. If you're listening to the podcast, do me a favor, hit them 5 stars. Now we'll catch you next week. Thanks. Deuces.